What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here and welcome to F1XL Season 9 race highlight. Yes, the new season is starting right now and I have made my promotion to Formula 1, the top league in F1XL. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel for more of these highlights in the future. And if you do want to join an Xbox League, Sunday night, 9 PM, go to f1xl.co.uk. We could do with some more drivers. The league has expanded to 4 leagues now. And so we have like 14 or 15 drivers per league. But into qualifying here, my first session, I'm still with the Renault team. Decided to be a loyal subject of Team Banana. But I didn't expect to be on the pace in this session. Because obviously jumping up a league, you don't really expect it to be like that. But this was my one and only run on the soft compound tyres. And I actually went into pole position. Which was a surprise considering I've beaten a couple of super soft runners. But Mav destroys it straight away, unfortunately. But the full session ended. There was 11 drivers. Unfortunately, there were a few missing this race, which did include my teammate F1XL Palmer. I had to go onto the website to remember his name, but Palmer in the banana car, it's perfect, isn't it? But P8, not too bad, only half a second off, so I'm happy with that pace coming into this, well, returning to this league. So that gives us an opportunity to get some decent points. I'm going to say like P5 around there, maybe for the whole season as well. But I was thinking it was going to be a 2-stop strategy. Obviously start on the softs, which we qualified on, and then a stint on the medium and then softs again. Something like that. Obviously under fuel in the car. I like to do that every race. But I'm really excited for this one. If you guys are as well, do remember to hit the like button. But we're building up to the start of F1XL Season 9, Race 1 in China, 5 lights and away we go. Can we make any positions up into turn 1? I don't want to do what I did in Season 8 and take out Jack Span. Ironically, we're side by side into turn 1, which isn't giving me good memories. King Liam's got a bit of contact there. We're just trying to avoid contact with our return to Formula 1 here. But up the inside, we take that position. And Sigma there on the left-hand side is the only one starting on the super softs, which is pretty interesting. We actually get a much better run than him here. So can we go up the inside into turn 4? Are we going to be later on the brakes? We are slightly trying to avoid Vidal ahead of us, the Season 8 champion. And we do get better traction, so maybe the super softs aren't working for Sigma. But I wanted to avoid them because they're pretty much useless at this track. They're a qualifying tyre. They last maybe 5-6 laps at most. And yeah, I just wanted to avoid them. And in terms of strategy before this race, I went on to the, I forgot what it's called, the where you select the harder compounds. I thought that was relevant for this race. But Vidal looking for the move ahead. We're just trying to keep up with these guys, really. I'd imagine they probably are a little bit quicker than us. So let's see how our pace compares to them. But behind us, Sigma he's close on our tail, and yeah, you can see everyone is trying to make the most of the slipstream. There will be cars weaving around to break their toe to the cars behind, because with the longest straight in F1 and this game having absolutely OP slipstream, it could be a slipstream fest. But it's getting pretty busy into the hairpin. Sigma, I don't know if he made a late lunch there, but pretty lucky there was no contact. But staying on the back of these guys is quite an intense battle. I've seen Vidal's made up 2 positions there, so that's worked out well for him. And that is the end of my first lap of the season. It's been pretty successful. We've gained 3 positions and we're challenging the guys at the front, but the people are everywhere. It's pretty crazy. Just looking for the gaps, trying to take advantage at any moment. So much side-by-side action here, and this is the type of racing I want to be involved in. The best drivers, the quickest drivers, and just clean side-by-side action. So we're on the back of Crawford here. Let's see if we can get close enough to go for a bit of a dive bomb into turn 4, just like we saw in the real-life race. He goes defensive, and we're going to try around the outside. We can't get it done, so I think we're going to slot in behind him for now, but it shows we can challenge. So I've got a little bit of confidence at this moment, so feeling quite good at this point. So we're going to move on here to the next part of the race, and yeah, onto the DRS straight. Hansen's gone wide there, lost so much momentum. We've got DRS, which has been enabled now. We're using Crawford's slipstream. Can we get pulled past Hansen here? But Pred's struggling because he doesn't have DRS. There's a bit of contact ahead. Pred and Hansen. Hansen's gone off. We've gained the position. Now can we out-traction the McLaren of Pred? I don't think we can from this position. So he's got the inside line. We try and slot in behind. He gets on the curb so it doesn't get a great exit. DRS putting it up to Rich Mix. So we're going side by side into turn 1. Can we take P3? We've got the outside line, but he's still there. Still alongside. I've got to give him the room, unfortunately. and he's understeering into me. So can we get third position back here? Still side by side. We've got the inside line, but we haven't got a great entry to this corner. He should get much better traction, which he does. So he regains the position nicely, and we're still on his tail. We've got Hansen just behind us, and I try and get in Pred's mirrors just to psych him out, trying to make him make a mistake. But we're on to lap 5 now. Pred is going for the move on Crawford into turn 1. We're just watching on, see if anything happens, and they make a bit of contact. Pred spun out at turn 1, so that's a free position there. Pretty unlucky for him. It is a very tricky turn 1, I've got to say. Side by side action. You've got to be pretty skillful to get through unscathed. But now, lap 6, on the previous lap, Hansen came into the pit, so he's going for the undercut. And I was dropping off the 2 ahead. They did have superior pace than me, but we're coming into the pits with Vidal. We're going for the undercut on Crawford, which should be interesting. I got a warning for corner cutting coming into the pits, which makes absolutely no sense. It is strict corner cutting once again. And we're coming in. We're going to be putting on the medium compound tyres. Hopefully our first of 2 stops. 2.3 seconds, so not too bad. And it looks like we've closed in on Vidal a little bit there. Hansen has not made the undercut work. I think he's actually behind Sigma. He must have picked quite early on because he's got ahead of Hansen, so that's worked out quite well for us. We're not too far behind Vidal, and now at the end of lap 7, Crawford's into the pits as well, so let's see where he ends up compared to myself and Vidal. I think he's coming out the pits now, looking at the minimap. He's very close to Vidal, so Vidal's executed the undercut there. We're effectively in P3 because there's someone in the lead who is yet to pit, so we're looking decent for a podium. I know it's the early stages, but I would not have expected to be this high up in the order, I've got to say. I thought maybe by the end I'd be fighting for the likes of P5. But yeah, it's looking good so far. On to lap 12 now. Hansen is closing in on me, but he is on the soft compound tyres, so obviously he will have the pace advantage. He's got to run with DRS. He's going to go up the inside, and he cuts the corner, goes wide. We do a switchback. I'm lucky to avoid him there. I saw in the corner of my eye he was going off the track, so... Oh, Crawford's gone off as well, his teammate. So, I'm not sure if he had a bit of contact with Vidal, but he's been brought into our clutches now. So, we're sandwiched by the 2 manners, and we've got a great run here. Can we slide up the inside? He's squeezing us to the inside. Can we outbrake Crawford into turn 4? Yes, we can. We haven't got the best of lines though, so we should get initial better traction, but if we can hang it around the outside we might be able to get the position. This is going to be very risky, but I think Crawford's got the advantage here. Yes, he has, so he's defended his P2 after his contact into turn 1, but now I'm being put under pressure by Hansen, who I presume is going on to the mediums in the final stint, but there's a bit of a curveball here. Sigma has retired. I think he got stuck on a curb or in the gravel where Lance Stroll did, and look how unlucky this is. Take the final corner, safety car. That has absolutely screwed the top 4 drivers here. We had the pace of the field, and now we're going to get screwed. You can see on the minimap, pretty much all the cars coming into the pits, they effectively get a free pit stop. So if we pit now, we're going to go to the back of the field, which is so unlucky. I know it can happen, it really can. In Season 8, the first half of the season when the safety car kept coming out, I got the rub of the green most times, and not this time. I do decide to come into the pits. I'm surprised Crawford and Vidal didn't, to be fair, because, yeah, they're going to have to scamper off into the distance on older tyres, try and create a gap for a full pit stop. I couldn't see that working, so I decided to come in on the super soft. I'm trying something different here, so I would come out in P9, but what I'm going to do is actually pit again on the next lap, because you can honestly get tyre wear behind the safety car. So I wanted as fresher tyres as possible, so I'm going to go on to the mediums now. I knew the safety car won't come in at this lap. It usually takes at least 3 laps to come back in, so it was a bit of a tactical strategy. It means we have the freshest tyres in the race, but we are at the back of the field, of course. Vidal and Crawford are at the front, but they definitely have to make another pit stop. And now we get ready for the restart. Pred absolutely corner cuts that hairpin like there's no tomorrow, and away we go. We are quite far back here, so we're going to wait and see if there's any contact and if we can take advantage. Hansen hasn't got a great run there, so can we go for the move here using the slipstream? And we're going to be side by side into turn 1. We don't want to be fighting too much because we want to be making our way through the field. Can we go for a switchback? We do indeed, up the inside. We're taking P9 for now, but he is still there. We're up on the curb. He's on the inside, so at this point I realised this is a bit stupid. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should probably help each other try and get through the pack, because most of the cars in the mid-pack there, we know we are quicker than them in this race, so yeah, we had to make our way past these cars. But to be fair, I say we're quicker. We're not that much quicker. These aren't slow guys at all. You can see the train here. It allows us to go up the inside of Hansen. And can we get the position? Yes, we can. We get better traction initially. We're on the back of Frozen Gamers here, using the slipstream and rich mix. It looks like we've got better straight line speed, so it looks like we're going to take 2 positions on this DRS straight without DRS. But yeah, there's a bit of just cars everywhere on this straight, trying to break the slipstream, trying to make up positions as quick as possible. It gets pretty crazy at times, I've got to say. But we're on the back of Jack Spa here, and Craig Senna on his debut, putting in a respectable performance. He was slowing up Pred and Jack Spa here, so we were getting detached from the cars ahead, and I knew we couldn't lose any time compared to anyone, really. And we're going to look for a dive bomb on Jack Spa. Can we get the move done? This is my teammate that I won the All-Star race with in Season 8, so yeah, it's good to be racing him. And from around the outside, it didn't work with Crawford. It's not going to work this time either, so we might have to wait for DRS if it's been enabled yet. I don't think it has actually, but let's see if we can just make the most of any mistakes. If yeah, my back end keeps stepping out all over the place. You can see I do fight the wheel quite a lot of times, moving in the mirrors, trying to put Jack off ahead of me. I can't believe I've just said that. I need to calm down, jeez. But here we go. I seem to get better grip through here and get the advantage. So can we use the slipstream of the 2 cars ahead? We can already see there's a gap between Craig and Pred, so I knew we needed to get past as quick as possible. Jack Spar's going for the move. We're trying to use this slipstream, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any space to make an overtake here. But if there's any contact, we'll try and take advantage. But no, still nowhere to go. They made a bit of contact. That affects our run and means Hansen could be putting us under pressure. So I do move over the track to try and defend it. Jack Spar's pretty slow through the final corner. So now we're just concertinaing together and losing time to the cars ahead. I'm just looking for the opportunity to get past. You can see on the mini-map, the top 4 or 5 are really getting away. So this is costing us time. And with a couple of cars yet to pit, there's still cars in that train that have already made their final pit stop. So we're losing out here. We really need to get the move done. Jack Spar's cut the corner, so he's lost momentum there. Can we slip it up the inside into this braking zone? We're going to go for it. Yes, we are. And he's still there, banging tyres slightly. He cuts the corner once again, which will affect his run. We go for the switchback, and that's a brilliant move. I saw what he was going to do when he cut the corner. He was going to slide across the track, and we slowed the car down a little bit more than usual and got the move done. Now we're going to get DRS on Craig Senna. We need to get past this guy because he does seem to be slightly slower than the rest of us at the moment. It could be a simple move under brakes. We've got the inside line. We hit the apex, and I think we've got it done if we get better traction. Yes, we do, up to P5. Now we need to scamper off after the cars ahead. Crawford is into the pits. I think Vidal's already pit, so the 2 cars that were 1-2 earlier on have absolutely been screwed by the safety car, but you could say they could have pit under the safety car like me and Hansen did. So it looks like they've lost out the most. So in the lead, I didn't actually know that wasn't I thought 1-2 right now was Vidal and Crawford still on the mediums, but actually it's a couple of other guys. I think it's Mav and King Liam, which really did surprise me because they weren't on the same pace as like myself, Hansen, Crawford and Vidal in the early stages. So the safety car really has played into their hands. At this point I knew Hansen was slightly quicker than me, so I don't fight it too much. I know we need to use each other to catch up to the top 3 because there is quite a gap. I thought they were on worn tyres because I thought they were different people, but actually they're on, well, I've the newest tyres, but their tyres are like 1 or 2 laps older than ours, so it was going to be tricky to catch up to them, and that's how it ended up, unfortunately. That's, yeah, all the highlights because, yeah, I didn't have the pace of Hansen. I knew we had a penalty, though, so I wanted to stay as close as possible, so he's got at least 3 seconds of penalty, so we should beat him if we're close enough. But, yeah, this is coming to the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. Unexpected. It's been weird strategically. And like the quickest drivers in this race didn't win, didn't really come near the top either, which is a strange one, but that was a very enjoyable race. Such a fantastic return to Formula 1. We finished in P4 as Hansen did have a couple of penalties, so Liam takes the victory ahead of Mav and Pred. Wow, I didn't expect to be looking at that podium. I thought Vidal, the champion from Season A, would be up there, but him and Crawford, they lost out the most. Me and Hansen lost out, not as much. But yeah, enjoyable race. If you did enjoy that, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next race highlights. Goodbye.